If you're watching this video, you need to know that we're going to spoil this movie, okay? We saw Kick-Ass 2 last night, and it was awesome. We went to an early show, it comes out today, but we actually saw it last night.
And I have to say that I really tried to bail on this movie, and I was begging Scott not to go. I was like, make it a boys' night out with your brothers. I really don't want to see this stuff. It's going to be really stupid.
She tried hard. I had literally dragged her out of the house because we went with my little brothers, my 3 little brothers, and she saw Kick-Ass 1 because I made her watch it. And I will admit, Kick-Ass 1, it was kind of like a cheesy storyline. The action was really badass, but, it was... When they make it that real, in the sense of like, when he first kind of puts his costume on and he gets stabbed in the hospital, it kind of pulls away from it being like a superhero movie you're used to seeing, because you're used to always seeing the hero win, and that's not the case with him. He has damaged nerve endings. So anyway, so she's like, I don't want to see it, and the way they make the previews for this movie,
they look kind of cheesy.
They make it look kind of cheesy. They really do. You see Jim Carrey, which is awesome. And you see like all the other superheroes, and they all look kind of cheesy, which they do. I mean, they're costumes made at home. What do you expect them to look like? It's not like they all have the amazing abilities that Spider-Man has to make a super awesome latex costume.
Exactly. So I see the cheesy costumes and kind of the cheesy characters and the kind of cheesy storyline, and I'm like, I'm out.
But guess what? It wasn't cheesy at all. This movie was it was hilarious. I think it was rated R because they checked my ID, which was freaking awesome. And
True.
The movie itself, it was funny, it was full of action, and it was kind of gory too. Like there was, how it starts right off with McLovin. I'm gonna call him McLovin because he's McLovin because I don't want to say his name, which is the mother effer, which you guys already know if you see this movie. So I'm gonna call him McLovin so I don't swear. So anyway, so McLovin is like pissed and he's like talking to his mom and he's like all obsessed about Kick-Ass, and she deleted like his DVR with Kick-Ass stuff, and he's like, Kick-Ass killed Dad, and his mom's like, your dad died in a fire, and he's like, he was blown up by a bazooka, you idiot! It's not even the same thing. So it just starts right off with him freaking out, and it's just hilarious. And they even made him grow like this nasty mustache.
And he did an awesome job because he looks kind of awkward, and he was a little bit. His outfit was really crazy.
Yeah.
It was a little bit gaudy.
It was an S&M.
Dark, yeah.
It was an S&M
kind of thing. So he was a rebel from the get-go, but he did a really good job playing that awkward guy trying to be a badass.
And not to mention, I always say his last name wrong, John Leguizamo. I love this guy. He's in this movie, The Pest, one of my favorite actors. He's so funny. He's in this movie. He does a great job. But it starts off kind of like, it's random. He's like pissed at his mom and she's tanning. And he starts kicking the tanning bed and like it short circuits and kills her, which could I don't even think it's possible to ever happen because you're just laying on a piece of plexiglass. If anything, the plexiglasses on the top and bottom are like insulators, so you're not going to get zapped anyways, right?
Yeah.
So she dies, and it's like, what?
But then now he has free reign to do whatever he wants with all the money.
Yeah.
So that kind of is what starts his rampage.
Yeah, exactly. And Kick-Ass basically stopped being a superhero. He's just doing his thing, and he kind of talks about how, I started this thing to get people to get off their butts and make a difference in the world, and now here I am on my butt doing nothing. So he wants to get back into it, so he hooks up with Hit Girl, and they start training again. And the relationship they have is very dynamic. It's really funny. He's like, we can be like Batman and Robin, and she's like, listen, I'm in the NFL. You're in the Pee Wees. I'm on a whole different level as you. So she trains him, to be pretty badass. And the first scene where he goes out, she makes him dress like a pimp and walk down the street until dudes try to rob him, right?
Yeah, in a fur coat, full of shopping bags, like he has money, spend all this money.
He looked like a pimp, too. He looked pretty good. And so anyways, that's when the action really starts to start, and Hit Girl ends up having to save him. And what I like the best about Hit Girl's character is she doesn't hesitate. There's no hesitation in her character at all. She doesn't care. She basically looks at you if you're evil, she's gonna kill you. She doesn't care what she does.
Cut your hand, your legs, your head,
whatever. She cuts this dude. She basically beats all the dudes up. The dude's on the ground, and there's a knife right there. And she's like, "You promise to stop being evil and stop living a life of crime?" And he's like, "Yep." and then he goes to grab the knife, bam, cuts his hand off. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, she's pretty hardcore, which I like.
Yeah, she was awesome. And so like they're basically in high school now too. And I didn't know off the bat there was like a random kid there, but it was the kid's name was Todd, and the actor changed. So in the first movie, I like that actor a lot better. He's also in Never Back Down. I don't remember his name, but his character in the first movie was way more like spazzy, like outgoing and spazzy. And in this movie, they made him like kind of like a dope, like an idiot, which they had to do because he basically is the one who ends up getting Kick-Ass's dad killed because he's just an idiot. And so anyway, so the movies go and they're in high school, whatever, they're training, and then Hit Girl doesn't want to do it anymore, so they form their own team, and Kick-Ass goes out and does a team up with Mr. Gravity or Dr. Gravity, which is the guy from Scrubs. And I don't know about you, but like for me, they kind of really put a sense of realness in the movie. Like whenever you see a superhero movie, whenever you see or read a comic, like you never see like the heroes just walking down the street like do like, all right, let's go get a soda in the store over here.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes away like them being a badass superhero to just
shows them doing like patrol.
Like patrol, just walking around.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff they do is really kind of mundane stuff. So helping an elderly out of the car or stuff like that, and you're always thinking they're in these crazy fights, and it's not. They just kind of do their thing most of the time. Yeah,
like in a comic book or like Batman or Batman movies, like he's just always in the shadows and he just jumps out and gets you. They don't show like his walk from 35th Street to 23rd Street. You know what I mean? Like, so it really adds a sense of like realism to the movie, and also too like you're an open target if you're walking around, And right off the bat, these two dudes run over. And Mr. Dr. Gravity's like, you Jersey Shore douchebags. So they're like, you're going to make us famous. And they basically attack him just to make a YouTube video to be famous, which if you think about it, you're like, yeah, like that would really, people would just go after you just to make themselves famous by filming like a YouTube video or something like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they end up joining like this team of superheroes, and the names, I thought the names were really cool. Right, and so you had Colonel Stars and Stripes, which is Jim Carrey.
And I have to say, Jim Carrey did an incredible job in this role. He was so good, and he was so badass. And I thought he looked really good too. Like he had a spike hair going on.
Yeah, he did. He looked pretty good.
I thought he looked really good.
They gave him like these like cruddy teeth. It was looking funny.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. He was awesome.
So they form this whole team, and they all have like their own names, and Kick-Ass's friend tries to give like the Batman backstory, which is another thing I like about this movie is, their costumes, they kind of look like hero costumes from the comics, because they do read Batman, they read Spider-Man, they read Superman in the movie. They make it very relevant that they live in that same world where they have these comics, so you're going to expect them to model their costumes off of their favorite superheroes. Like his body basically... he looked like a Captain America knockoff costume, So anyway,
But the group was very random, it was just everyday people, which was kind of cool. One was a couple their son went missing, and they're like a mid-age couple, kind of, regular.
She puts a brick in her purse. She's like, I have a brick in my purse. And she's always holding it like this. Like, she never holds it by her side. She's always walking on patrol like this with her brick.
And she did a pretty good job. And then this other guy, which I thought was a really cool story, he said he had been bullied his whole life for being gay. And he was going to be a superhero, and defend people that are being harassed and do the right thing. But he wasn't going to wear a mask because he said he was tired of hiding. He wanted to be himself. I thought that was pretty cool.
And he was actually pretty badass. He had these like swirling batons that had tasers on the end. It was like, when they got into some fight scenes, he was like, bam, 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 taser. It's pretty sick. So we're getting, I think, too much into the details.
Right, okay,
so
we're getting carried away here.
It was an awesome movie. So anyways, the movie goes on, McLovin starts his own team of supervillains, and he's so racist about it, you can only laugh, So like, he thinks he's gonna like learn MMA, and what was the UFC guy that was in the
Chuck
movie?
Liddell.
Chuck Liddell.
He's a trillionaire, so he hires Chuck Liddell to train him, which was awesome.
So he's like, he's fighting this kid, and he's getting his butt kicked, and he's like, what my superpower is? It's a mother effing rich. You want to fight people for me? He throws him like $100,000.
Yeah, so the guy's kicking his butt. He ends up hiring the guy to be on his team.
He's like, anybody out there want to be a supervillain, or you want to stay here with he used a lot of profanity. I don't want to say it, but he's making fun of Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell's like, "What'd you say?" And so he's so racist. So the kid that he first hired is black, and he's like, "We're gonna call you Black Death." And then John Leguizamo was like, "Don't you think that's at all a little bit racist?" He's like, "I don't care. I'm a supervillain."
It's my team. I do what I want.
Yeah.
And then this other chick was just out of this world. So Mother Russia was one of the villains, part of his team, McLovin's, and
She
the
was
woman
crazy.
kicked everybody's butt. I mean, she was more hardcore than all the guys combined.
She was the hype of the movie, like without a doubt.
The stuff she did was, we cannot tell you, every single scene. You gotta watch it, but was so freaking cool.
So John basically comes to McLovin with all these people, and so he's telling them who they are, and he's giving them all like really racist names. And so when he comes to Mother Russia, he's like, "Oh, this chick from Russia," and McLovin's like, "We really want a chick on our team?" And he's like, "Well, she got out of prison after she ate her cellmate." And he's like, "Oh, sick, Mother Russia."
She did more than any of the other peeps in the team
Yeah,
combined.
she was like the ultimate bad guy. She like you were just waiting to see more scenes of her like doing her thing. Like she kills like 10 cops in a row, like blows up cop cars. She rips a door off, hits some dude in the face with it. Like she was absolutely insane.
And she had a sick body too. I mean, the face.
Yeah, she was jacked.
Not so good. She looked like a guy, but
So
her
she
body
looked-
was
she-
incredible.
She looked like Flavor Flav's love. What was it?
Bridget Nielsen.
She looked like Bridget
short
Nielsen.
blonde hair. Typical Russian.
Saddest part of the movie is Mother Russia kills Jim Carrey. And I was really upset by that.
When that happened.
Because he had a dog that was like awesome too. And so his dog was one of my favorite characters at first, but then you don't see the dog anymore. But they end up decapitating him. And that continues to add to the sense of realness of the movie. Like, you will die. Like stuff will happen to you. They'll find you. They talked a lot about like tracking IP addresses and stuff like that. Like, I thought it was dumb. Like, these people are posting on Twitter and Facebook. It's like, you don't think they can find out where you live posting on these things, you know?
The only thing though, after Jim Carrey died, I felt like the superhero things, they didn't act like they cared all that much. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna send them flowers, whatever. It was like a 2-second scene. They really weren't that emotional.
They all gave like $5.
And then move on with the movie. I was like, damn, that's it?
And they hyped up the dude who they called the Tumor to be like super badass. He loves to kill people. All he did was put on a latex costume and drive the truck and then hold the girl when McLovin tried to rape her, but he couldn't, which was actually really funny.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
anyway, so obviously, the main plot of the movie is, you have this team of good guys. They're trying to fight now McLovin, who's leading these super villains, and just doing evil all over the place. And then the main girl, Hit Girl, is out of the picture because she promised she was gonna get out of this life and try to be a normal girl in high school, and she's dealing with her own issues.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what is going on. And in the middle you see a lot of killing, a lot of blood, a lot of body parts cut.
Yeah, there was a lot. It was gory, and you're right. The whole movie was basically like Hit Girl trying to find herself, thinking she needed to like become a high school girl, and Kick-Ass is like, no, you don't need to. You know who you are. And then at the end, it was really sad. So Kick-Ass's dad takes the blame for being a superhero because he ended up arresting all the superheroes. And then while he's in jail, Todd, who's the idiot friend, they make fun of him because he wanted to join their team of heroes, but they kept making fun of him because he couldn't find the right name. And so he goes to join the evil villains, and he's like, "Oh, it's funny how they arrested that old guy because it's his dad." So then McLovin sends these two guys to kill his dad, and you're like, you knew it was gonna happen. And his dad was like the Uncle Ben from Spider-Man. Like, you like him, he's cool, he's nice, he's just trying to be a good influence, and he's the one who ends up taking it and dies. And that kind of spins the whole movie back into action where Kick-Ass goes to the funeral, stuff goes down, Hit Girl has to save Kick-Ass, and she's like, you know what, this is who I am, this is what's going to happen. And so then they basically have this epic battle fight at McLovin's evil lair. And it was awesome. Kick-Ass puts on Big Daddy's armor, so he looks pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And then all the other superheroes go. They do like a Facebook post, and they post the address to McLovin's evil lair. And they're like, "All right, everybody, meet here. We're gonna go fight these people." And so they all go there. This epic battle breaks out, and the fight scene with Hit Girl and Mother Russia was awesome. because she's just like beating the crap out of her nonstop, and then she does like that adrenaline shot and she kicks her butt. And you obviously knew it was gonna happen. You knew McLovin was gonna fall in the tank with the shark. You knew he was gonna die. You know, you knew it was gonna happen. So the epic battle scene was awesome. If you go see this movie, you're gonna love that. You're gonna love all the fight scenes. And then, you know, the movie ends, everyone kind of goes back to their life, and they realize that they don't need masked heroes, they just need regular heroes. And then they kind of allude to Kick-Ass building his own, like, metal, like, costume. They had, like, an Iron Man looking helmet on a table, and it had, like, all these, like, plans, and he was fabricating his own costume, probably so he wouldn't get beat up as much. And then the very, 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 very end, you see McLovin in bed. He's missing like his legs and his hands.
It was disgusting.
It was
like,
really
that
gross.
scene was disgusting. I didn't even want to look anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's like he has bandages all over, like blood, and he's missing his legs and his hands, and he's trying to drink water, which was kind of funny, but not really, because it was so gross.
Yeah, so they obviously allude to having, you know, a third one, which hopefully it will be just as good as this one. And they really did a good job. They took the first one, they took that idea, they molded it to something that was just absolutely amazing.
It was 10 times better than the first one.
She
So
left the
if you
movie
guys-
like pumped.
Yeah, if you guys like the first one, you're gonna love this. Like really fun, action nonstop, lots of blood. So if that's not your thing, there's a warning there. But you know, the story was well thought out. It was funny. It was full of action. It was clever. I thought it was great.
Yeah, and if you think it's funny when people get revenge, you're gonna like The Six Stick, which I won't tell you much about it. You have to see the movie. Hopefully you saw the movie before you saw this, you know what I'm talking about, but if you didn't, you should watch this review to see if you want to see this movie. When Hit Girl pulls out the Six Stick, you gotta get ready for some fun. Alright, well hey, let us know what you guys think in the comment section below if you saw the movie. If we missed anything, let us know too. And as always guys,
More good stuff coming soon. See ya.
see you guys.